Okay, hey there, you weird and wild magical people of the internet. It is Love Beer Radio. Again, another Sunday. We still exist, so yippee for that. If you look below, it says episode 14, but we're on episode 15 because Joe wrote it wrong, and I just write anything he writes.
Yeah,
so.
something kind of fucked up here.
Yeah, I screwed up, and then you screwed up,
yeah,
and everybody screwed up.
yeah,
You all screw up. So
We screwed up along the way, and yeah. So this is episode 15. We had a little, like, are we sure that this is episode 15? Like, what?
Yeah, so, I mean, if that's the worst thing that happens to us, then we're already ahead of the game.
Yeah,
so,
really.
yeah, man. Joe from NEPA Beer Reviews and me, Matt from Massive Beer Reviews. We just kind of sit here and we ramble about random beer stuff. Actually, not so random because Joe makes an outline, and then we go over that outline and we review some beer and talk and all that fun stuff. So hopefully people watch and enjoy it. So yeah. So what's the format this week? What are we doing, Joe?
Today we're going to be talking about beer festivals. So the first little bit is kind of like what we really look like and what we look for in a festival. We talk about like doing tokens and tickets for samples, sample sizes, and what beers we kind of expect out of a brewery. And then we're going to be reviewing Weyerbacher's Merry Monks. We both have the same year. I don't know what year it is, but they both came from my cellar.
You know what year it is?
I don't. I'm going to guess maybe a 13.
Well, it's the new label style, but it's a new label style. But oh no, there's a date on here. There is. It's up on the neck. It's hard to see. It is February 5th, 2013.
Okay.
And it was best by January 3rd, 2015. So it's outdated. So there you go.
Yeah, we should just dump it out right now.
Oh yeah.
And just get rid of it. No review today.
No review for you.
Then after the review, we're going to be wrapping it up with talking about like kind of our ideal ticket price for a festival, and in that, you know, what you pay for versus what you're getting.
Awesome.
Oh. Anything happen? Any like little beer newsy thing?
I'm trying to think. Kind of personal note. I mean, I've actually been in contact with a lot of breweries lately. I talked to I talked to a brewer, Dry Lag Brewing, out of right outside Pittsburgh, and they were like, I've gone back and forth with them on the internet before, and kind of talked to the owner on the phone this week. Usually, most of the shit's by email, but he actually hates digital communication, so he just called me. And super cool dude, so I'm gonna head down there and drink some beers. So that's probably the only noteworthy thing. I can't really even think of any kind of news. The only news I can think of would be the one that was covered on the radio show that I did earlier today, which is there's a brewery out there. It's an all-female brewery that tried to market their beer as the queen of beers, so they promptly got a cease and desist by Budweiser.
I did not hear about that, but yeah, that would prompt a no, you're not doing that.
Yeah, it was one of those things where most people are going to want to sit there and kind of like be like, oh, fuck AB InBev. But I mean, that's a little too much on the nose. Obviously, they're using that tagline because they know people will understand it and then it will gather some attention. So yeah, I'm not the first person to defend AB InBev, but I mean, that's a little bit too much.
I mean,
so
I'm not the quickest person to defend them either, but still, this case is definitely justified.
Yeah.
And them jumping to a cease and desist.
Yeah.
But when you were, just completely segue into something that I wanted to say. When you were up for Chad's festival, you liked Five Paddles.
Oh yeah, a lot, especially their Midnight Paddler, which is their like Russian Imperial. It was blended with something else or something. I forget.
Well, there is a little collaboration in the works between Five Paddles and Garden Brewers. And
okay, one of your old professors, right?
Yeah. He's I don't think he's actually teaching anymore. I think he stopped to really focus on the brewery after this semester. But he's working. Garden Brewers and Five Paddles are coming together and putting out a Belgian beer called Trappist Mingle, which should be. I just saw kind of like the little blog post about it the other day. It should be pretty interesting. I don't know like what kind of distribution it's going to get, or even like really when it's coming out. It seemed like it was just more of an announcement that this was in the works than really much of anything. But if you're do you remember off the top of your head where Five Paddles was out of?
Oh man, I don't remember. Ontario, I know that much.
Ontario somewhere. Well, if you're in an area of Ontario that gets either Five Paddles or...
I think they're right on the edge of Toronto.
That would make sense. Well, if you're in that area, keep an eye out for, like, in the next, I don't know, couple of months for Trappist Mingle. I'm definitely going to see if it's on tap anywhere that I can easily drive to. I would...
Whitby, Ontario. They're located in Whitby, Ontario,
okay.
Which is, I'll look it up on the map.
That could be friggin' anywhere as far as I'm concerned.
And it is right on the edge of Toronto, but on the other side of Toronto, so you'd have to go through Toronto.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like. Oh, another little beer newsy thing. I don't know when this article came out, but I was cycling through Instagram and I saw that beer from this like Taps brewery in California. It's at Remy's Pappy, which is like a barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stout. And apparently, did I pull the... I don't think I did. I thought I grabbed the spot that told us how much the bottle was initially selling for, which I think was like probably in the neighborhood, and someone who actually lives in California can correct me on this. I think it was in the neighborhood of like between $15 and $25 for a bottle, and is now selling secondhand for like $300.
Ugh.
And I know, and the guy's like, he's like, you honestly can't be. Did I get the full fucking quote? I didn't. Well, anyway, but like the head brewer was kind of asked, who's buying that pricey of a beer, and his answer was beer geeks. It's like people who are drinking. This is a direct quote from this article. I don't know when the article was written, but direct quote was people who are drinking sour beers and double IPAs and other trendy beers, and that's the people who are buying that pricey of a bottle of beer. But it's just interesting because I see like you see it.
It's like literally they already. I mean, what did they expect? They threw Pappy on the fucking bottle. Like
Yeah.
If you go barrel aged in a bottle, and people really want to know, the nerds, they're gonna find out it's Pappy Van Winkle barrel aged. Like it's almost like your 50/50 Eclipses, they wax coat them. So if you really want to find out what it is, you can. But when you throw in Pappy on the front, saying Pappy is just like it's like saying orange marmalade at this point. It's like fucking just shit people want to say because it's cool to say.
But it's also like bait as well. Like,
oh yeah,
there was another that website Thrillist. If anybody follows that, Don't Drink Beer, he had an article on there, and it was like how to be into beer without being a dick about it. And it was actually like, he's a super funny writer. If anybody ever gets a chance to read his stuff, he really kind of cuts the whole beer geek thing down to size, and was like, he constantly refers to beer as just like glasses of beer as glasses of sugar water.
Yeah.
And then that's the one that that's what it is. But the other article that Thrillist actually denied, and he titled I think it was the 9 types of shitlords you see at bottle shares.
Yeah. What was it? I think it was, I'm almost positive I'm spacing on it, but last week on the radio show, we did Carton, and the owner, I believe, like, I forget what beer it was. I don't know if it was regular coffee or one of those, some beer like that. Like, same thing kind of happened with that. Not to that extent, there was $300, but he immediately after it being sold, he kind of saw it, go online, and like people are flipping them for like 5 times more than what it was. So he literally went and grabbed 2 cases of it and gave it to a friend and goes, okay, flood the internet market with these at a regular price just to drown out those people that are trying to flip them for like crazy amount of money. So he basically just combated that by taking his beer and just selling it at the price what it was supposed to be sold at, through a secondary party that just flooded the market. That way those people fucking got fucked. You know what I mean? And I think that's cool.
Actually a little bit of the opposite of what I heard the guy from Alpine Brewing do. He said if he ever saw any of his any growlers of, I'm pretty sure it was like exponential hoppiness or something like that, like some big IPA. If he ever saw growlers of that go up on the internet, that was it for growler fills of that beer. Sure enough, growler comes up on the internet and he's like, "Fuck you guys, no more growler fills." And that was the end of it. There was no. I don't know if to this day you can get growler fills from the brewery of this beer.
Yeah,
but it's really interesting to hear the stories of how like brewers themselves are now trying to cut the secondary market. Like if you're trading for it, that's fine. As a brewer, I don't give a shit if you're trading for beer. But if you're gonna try to sell it more than I wanted that beer to be, then that's a problem.
Not even that. And that's the thing though. Like if you go to like wherever, like if you go to some beer release and it costs $15 for the bottle, I actually don't see a problem selling it for like $20-$25. You spent 5 hours in line, you gas and tolls and all that. But you're talking about $15 bottle of Dark Lord going for fucking $250. Yeah.
Yeah, like what I like even. Really, I'm not even talking about like a bottle shop selling it for really expensive. I mean I'd have a problem with that, but I'm not gonna then close the account to that store because they're selling it for way more than I thought it should be.
Yeah,
I'm talking about you are now selling this out of your house for $150, $200, $300, whatever. That's the problem to me.
Yeah. People are assholes. That's the point.
Yep.
Oh man. Did you drink anything great lately? Anything good and anything new?
I have 2 reviews that I have to write up still. One of them was for both of them are stone beers actually. One is I think it's the first running of the Will Wheaton, Drew Curtis.
Yeah, I remember you posted. It was definitely the first. It was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have that one. That was really friggin' good. Like for only being aged partially in a barrel, and I don't know if it was the age on the bottle, but I felt the barrel really came through, and that was just fucking awesome. I want to find more of that beer, and then age it for 2 years before I drink it. Then the other one is the smoked porter with vanilla beans. That was also really interesting because I think it was a year old and all the smoke character was gone. I haven't actually had fresh smoked porter, but it drank like vanilla ice cream.
Ooh.
Just all the vanilla, like the vanilla came out so much, and then there was no smoke character at all. It was really, really interesting.
Nice.
I would probably not age it for a year. I kind of did my typical forget about the bottle deal with that one, but I liked it. A couple of my friends weren't too into it because it was honestly, it was a little like mouthfeel was pretty watery. There was no real smoke character. All you really got was vanilla. But if you like really vanilla forward beers, grab a bottle of that and forget about it for a year, and then drink it.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you? Have anything crazy apart from those 1996 and 1999 Thomas Hardy's?
Let me think. I just fucking reviewed. I didn't put it up yet because I just drank it 2 days ago. Funky Buddha's Last Snow.
I think I saw the picture for that.
It's a coffee coconut porter. Clocks in at 6.4% alcohol by volume. Drinks like it's 12, 13% in a good way, not boozy, like mouthfeel and robust flavors. Mm-hmm. It smells like a crazy espresso beer with a little bit of coconut. It drinks like you're eating toasted coconut candy with coffee. It basically tastes like you're eating an Almond Joy, but instead of an almond, you put the fucking espresso bean on it instead of fucking almond. It blew my fucking tits off. It was fucking amazing. And it's 6.4%. That's the thing. It was so fucking good. Oh, yeah. So that was awesome. And then I just ran through 3 Jackie O's beers, and all of them were great. The Oro Negro, which would be your chili-based beer, your kind of like, your Chocoveza, Hunapu, fucking Abraxas, fucking that whole thing, Mexican cake style, and it was one of the best ones I ever had. It was so fucking good. It was a ton of cinnamon, really beautiful chili heated to it. It was just absolutely fantastic. Even the other ones that they sent were fantastic too, but that one was really impactful because I love chili beers. So
I was just gonna say, you really like any kind of chili.
No, that's beer. The thing though. I don't like any because I had what was it? Central Water Space Ghost, which is a ghost chili pepper beer, and it wasn't balanced right for me. It wasn't bad, but it was too spicy for me. So it's not a matter of just throw chilies in there and I'm sold. It has to be done right. Yeah. And this one was done pretty fucking awesome. So
I think if you're using like ghost, like in the making a spicy beer world, the ghost pepper, putting it on there is the equivalent of the Pappy bourbon barrel. It's just, that's bait now. Like I said before, you're just baiting people. Yeah,
so we'll see. I'm getting another bottle of Space Ghost. I'm gonna let it sit and see if it kind of balances out.
Yeah, I have to experiment with chilies in a beer and just see what the fuck happens.
You never did it before?
No, I did like a kind of a silly review of 3 Guys in a Beard ladder dive, where I like steeped 3 different kinds of peppers in there, and it actually was really interesting because we found out that Serrano peppers went actually quite well, and were not had a really nice balance of like heat and pepper flavor, and then still had some of the beer quality in there. I basically half-assed Randalled them.
French pressed them or something like that, or
no, I just kind of put them in a glass and poured beer over it, and then strained the peppers out.
Did you do anything to peppers, like cut them up or roast them or anything, or you just straight up?
Okay. I just cut them up and tossed them in. I think if you just tossed a pepper in there, I don't know how much.
Yeah, because you need to get any inside.
Yeah.
It's
get the oils and shit out.
It's 2 very distinct flavors. If you roast a pepper, you get that you get a spiciness, but it's not nearly as spicy, and it's a bit more obviously roasty. If you don't roast them, then you get a lot more of that kind of like green vegetal fucking like taste out of it, which I mean, they're both cool. You know what I mean? It's just weird how just a little bit of charring changes it dramatically.
Absolutely. Yeah, I might try something. If I'm going to do this, I have to like really piece together what style of beer I'm going to be going with, and like just do the whole 9. If there's any homebrewers watching that want to lend some suggestions, I would be open for anything. Drop a comment here, or, message me on Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
Nice.
Cool.
And then me and Joe are hanging out later, doing a little bit of bottle share.
Yes.
Drink some beers, maybe get a little shitty. Who knows? Should be a good time.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah. So let's get the horse in motion here. Let's talk about fucking festivals.
Yes.
Festivals.
So what do you being the one who's I think most recently at a beer festival, because I think Albino Rhino's festival was after the not this past project beer for Niagara College, but the previous one. I think his was after their festival. So, but you.
No, yours was last because it was 2 weeks after I was going to come back up, but I never did. Anyway, regardless, festivals. I'm a weird when it comes to festivals. Like I really enjoyed Chad's festival. If nobody knows what I'm talking about, like Joe said, Chad Albino Rhino Beer Reviews. You can go down there and go to Albino Rhino Beer Fest. It's in Ridgeway, Ontario. You can check it out. Really awesome time. Really good brewers, actually. A lot of ones that obviously would have never had before, being that I was in Ontario, and I had a really good time. But the way he does the festival with it's admission and tickets. I'm not a big ticket person, man. I like flat fee. That's how I like it.
I'm on the same boat. I don't like the ticket could be $20 and now I'm spending $40 to $50 in total ticket and tokens instead of just I'd rather pay $45 and that's it.
Yeah. And I mean there's pros and cons to both of them, but personally myself, pricing wise when it comes to that, like that's I'm more of a flat fee person. That's typically what you do find in this area, whether it be Pennsylvania or New York. I know that typically it's just all flat fee. And some of them get pretty pricey, but there's ones that are pretty cheap. Like Extreme Beer Fest in Boston, I believe, is only like $50 or $55. And you're like, okay, that's a lot of money, but literally it's a whale convention. You know what I mean? There's huge beer after huge beer there, so it's you're getting your crazy beer, so you're definitely getting your run for your money. That is, I would much prefer flat fee. Now that being said, if I had a choice between pricing or quality of beer, like it'd be like, okay, flat fee and okay beer or great beer and tokens, I'm gonna take a fucking token every fucking time. You know what I mean? Because I want good fucking beer. So that's my stance on it. And it sounds like you're pretty much the same on that.
I am, and that kind of then goes into what beers I expect from a brewery. If a festival, I haven't been there in a while, but the first 3 or 4 runs of the Electric City Brew Fest, and for people who aren't in this area, Electric City Brew Fest is a beer festival that's been running. It was originally in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and then they kind of bounced it around to a bunch of different places. It was originally in the Cultural Center that's in downtown Scranton for the first 2 times, and then they changed it and put it into the Mohegan Sun Casino that's in Wilkes-Barre Township.
Actually, they do 2 now, and you're thinking of they do a fall one and then you do a spring one. So they're 2 separate ones.
They did 2 runs. Yeah, they did 2 runs. They were 2 years. They were a year apart when they first started, and it was both like the first year was in the Cultural Center, and literally like no one knew what they were fucking doing. Like
I went to that one. That's the only one I've gone to.
Yeah, then the next year they did it in the Cultural Center, and they figured it out. They had all because the very top floor was just the VIP section, and if you didn't get a VIP ticket, you really couldn't go up there. For the second year, they opened everything. Well,
no, the first year it was first and second floor was regular admission. There was a separate room that you went into for VIP.
that's on the very top floor.
Well, what I'm saying is, no, they're both on the same floor. You could do. It was. I remember going because it was like you had the first and second floor was just regular beer because Unibrew was up on the second floor, but and then they had the main hall downstairs. But then they had a separate ballroom off to the side, right by the elevators. That was like the VIP.
Oh yeah. They had like presentations and shit in there the second time.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they kind of, I feel like the second time around they figured it out, and then it hasn't been back there since. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't been back at the Cultural Center. Like after they figured it out and it was like, all right, we're gonna put it over here now, and then we're gonna put it over here, and then it was at the PNC Field the one year, or whatever the frig it's called now. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's PNC Field, but it's just kind of like it. What I'm getting at is when a festival is kind of like you're figuring it out, I don't necessarily expect super crazy beers from a brewery. But like once you start getting your shit together and you see that like people are coming to this, then start bringing some crazy stuff. And I remember Weyerbacher had Heresy. And I think they also had Insanity on tap. Definitely Heresy was on there, and that was pretty cool to see. Like just a general, it wasn't a VIP beer or anything, just a general. Like here we go, we have one of our barrel aged products on there, and that kind of like goes for that ticket price. I think it was maybe $40 to $45 roughly.
Originally it was $45 for regular, $65 for VIP.
Yeah.
And honestly, like the Electric City, I don't even call it Electric City Craft Beer Fest because it doesn't deserve to even be called that.
No, there were a lot of like macro shit. Like they had I'm pretty sure they had fucking Bud White, like Bud White or something.
But that festival encompasses everything that I think is wrong with fucking beer festivals, because what you said, like the first year they didn't really know what's going on, so they're trying to figure shit out. That's semi, forgivable. But every year since, they've actually less and less good beers are going there, and now it's to the point where it's like I call it the Wegmans Mix of Six fucking festival. Like you could literally go to Wegmans Mix of Six and get all the beers that are at the festival. Like, and when I say Wegmans Mix of Six, people don't know. It's if you have like
any kind of equivalent of like mix of six pack shops where
like
they just
$12, $11-12 six packs and below. It's just like genera beer. There's a lot of beers that are okay at that. But when I go to a festival, I don't expect like huge beer after huge beer. Like a couple weeks ago was Belgium Comes to Cooperstown. Like that's the kind of festival that I like. I mean, it's a little bit pricey, but it's 3 fucking days and all the beers are creative, but they're also a bulk of them. There's big beers there. There's some Goose Island whipped out some Bourbon County and fucking shit like that. But a lot of it's like your 5 to 8% beers, light beers, stuff that you want to drink all fucking day long. But here's the problem with fucking Electric City and a bulk of fucking festivals. The beer that's brought is pretty crap-tass, most specifically in Pennsylvania. Outside, once you get out of the state, it's much better. 2, my biggest egregious offense is no fucking brewery or brewery staff at the fucking tap handle. That's my biggest fucking problem.
That was a change when they did the casino. Brewery staff was not allowed to pour. So
they weren't. The brewery staff wasn't at the first one. Besides local small people, that's it.
Yeah, local small people. There was also it was like people from whatever.
It was Ace and Verastro distributors basically, and that's honestly why I had a huge problem with that for 2 reasons. One, I asked them if they were going to have brewery staff on hand, and no one got back to me.
Yeah.
And now I know why, because they knew they would have said no, and I wouldn't have went. And 2, when the second one came around, I was like, okay. I'm like, hey, are you guys? Are there going to be brewers actually staffing the things? And I asked them publicly on Facebook 3 times, and they deleted my comment all 3 times. So they're actively going out of their way to subterfuge a basic question that should be answered. Be like, is brewery staff going to be there? They're not. Then I'm not fucking going because I like me some beer. I love drinking beer, but I also want to fucking talk to somebody who gives a shit. You know what I mean? I'm going there to talk more than drink. I can sit in my house and drink better beers than I get at a festival. You know what I mean? Like I go there for to talk to brewers and then, you know, engage with people. And when it's kind of like just that, it's a cash grab is basically all that festival ever was and ever will be. You know, so that's why it just sucks ass.
Like I stopped going because I'm not here all the time anymore. But after a while, I'm like, I don't really feel like doing this twice a fucking year now because it's a little one. The first time that they did it, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go back. I'll do this. I'll do this thing, and then it's like, oh, this shit was at the last festival. Like I just had all of this stuff 6 fucking months ago, or however the fuck long it was. Like this is now not. It was not worth it. It wasn't worth doing two sessions, like two runs of it in 1 year. I'm like and now I agree that it was just a fucking cash grab. I didn't see it at the time, but I'm like, now I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, that was a complete and utter cash grab. Like they just wanted as much money for this stuff as they possibly could, you know. Like I kind of went there to mostly market my own blog. You know, I had NEPA beer reviews t-shirts and I would just fucking wear them it was my beer event t-shirt. I've since kind of stopped doing that unless I'm actually doing something. But yeah, I would wear those t-shirts around, and that was kind of just like free marketing for myself for the day. You know?
Yeah, no, I get it. You know what I mean? I totally get it.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I totally spaced there for a second. I spaced again. Anyway, yeah, it's fucking retarded, man. Like I really, really, really got angry at that whole festival in general, and just kind of boycotted it, and then told people never go there, please. Like actively campaign for people not to go to it. And now it's just kind of like just reduced into like it is. It's like a festival for people to go to because they want to go to a festival, not a beer festival. Like it's like the beer is almost it's secondary or
festival season comes around here, and here you go. Here's one that has beer.
Yeah, and like to kind of not to come full circle because it's not even a fucking circle. Like I one of my fucking favorite magazines is Modern Drunkard magazine. I'm wearing a shirt right now. There you go, Modern Drunkard magazine. I love it. It's hilarious. It's like written really smart and done really well. And last issue, because they only put out issues like twice a year because they're a bunch of drunks who don't get shit done. And one of the issues they actually came out with, or one of the articles in the last one was 10 reasons why the GABF sucks. So I'll just touch base on this real quick and just be like, and it actually hits probably like a lot of points that we're talking about here. I totally forgot about this until we got on the air, and I was like, let me look this up. And the first thing they said, I forwarded it to you, I believe.
Yeah, I think you did.
And the first point is 1 ounce pours, and that's one of the things that you kind of mentioned, pour size. Like, that is an issue. I think I know why they do it because they want to kind of police people or kind of try to control them. Yeah. But at the same time, like it's like you know, I wish sometimes you just can't wrap your head around a beer in 1 ounce. You need maybe 2 to 3. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it is what it is. The second one is judges wearing medals. Whatever, I don't give a fuck about this. Privilege of sponsorship, that doesn't really apply here. That's more GABF stuff. The zombie tables, and that's basically what I was talking about brewers not being there. When I go to a festival, it is the talk, and this kind of, I guess it kind of, how do I put it? There's a couple different people, more than one type. A person goes to beer festival, a person goes to a beer festival for maximum amount of beer they can consume in a 4-hour period. And there's people that go there for quality and actually have a conversation. So there's people that go there that pay to $45. And I think actually Electric City Beer Fest, I think that was like $20 because they just realized who they're fucking marketing at now. And they're just like, fuck it, pack them in like cattle and just shove beer down their fucking throats. And like when I go, like I'm not gonna try to drink as much beer as I possibly can. That's never been my goal at a beer festival. I actually just want to
same here. I want to try some things.
You try good stuff and try new stuff and actually have a conversation with somebody. So when there's no brewer or somebody who knows what the fuck's going on, like it just, I mean, I get angry.
Or even like talk, not even just talking to brew staff, like being able to talk to someone else. I was at a beer festival in Nashville, and we got talking to this guy who was I think he was in the Army, and he was stationed over in Germany, and he was talking about how this one particular brewery, he's like, oh, have you tried these guys yet? I'm like, no. He's like, get their Hefeweizen. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, yeah, I was stationed over in Germany, and I grew to really love Hefeweizens, and these guys, like, you could tell he was like longing for someone to do something that reminded him of like a German, like a true German Hefeweizen here. And like we were talking to him for a couple minutes, and it was really cool. So like, you know, we weren't necessarily talking to a brewer, but we got to have a good conversation about beer just at random. I think that's kind of another point for festivals, like being able to actually talk and carry on a conversation with someone.
And that's the thing, like it's just like I'm so disillusioned with all that shit at this point now. I don't know, man. I think the only time I go to festivals now is if it's super inclusive, not to be like I just want like the rare shit, but I actually would rather pay $150 and then have seats and people to talk to and be less people there, not because there's better beer, but have it be less people and more of like a relaxed environment than a shit show. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, absolutely.
And so sometimes you have to spend a couple bucks. That's why like places like Belgium Comes to Coopertown is like $200-$300. That sucks, but when you get there, or if you go to a festival that's like $70-$80, the regular dude bros and hookers are fucking not going to spend the money. Yeah,
it's a different class of people that go there, you know, not talking down to anybody, but it's a different style of person. It's almost like a different mindset as well. It's like, I'm spending this much money. I'm going to try to get the most out of it, but at the same time, kind of rein myself in. You know, it's not this isn't, you know, the $20 beer festival where I could just go slam a bunch of stuff and get super shitty. I want to actually, like, these guys are bringing something good, you know, let's actually be able to taste and like kind of savor the, like, whatever I'm getting.
Yeah, and that's one thing. You said the word savor. I'd really like there to be more like food centric festivals, like, you know
absolutely.
I mean?
That is the one festival that I really, really want to go to. Well, you can call it festival, but
yeah,
someone out there would be pissed off at me calling it a festival.
Yeah,
but you know, that's the one kind of event. Let's say that event that I really, really, really want to go to.
Yeah,
it seems so cool.
Yeah, just the whole food pairing thing just appeals to me on a much larger level. You know what I mean? Than just like I don't like people, man. Like I don't want to be stuck in a fucking room with a bunch of people that I don't like. Just because you like beer doesn't mean we're fucking boys. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't like you. Stop! Don't breathe on me. Anyway. Yeah, it's like, you know, for fucking a hermited douche like me, beers festivals don't really work all that well, you know.
That's probably the quote of the day. Just because we like beer doesn't mean we're boys.
It is. So many people are like that.
No,
it's like, it's just like so many people think that way. It's, you know, whether it's beer, tattoos. Like if tattoos, people like start talking to me about tattoos and be like, dude, You obviously drink Monster Energy drinks and do methamphetamine. Like, we have nothing in common. You know what I mean? Like, just because you have a tattoo of your 17th ex-girlfriend's name on your fucking dick does not mean we can be friends. Like, it doesn't work like that. So take your fucking
I think there's even a difference between that kind of stuff. Like, if you could tell that, you know, someone's not trying to be an ass about it and just like really wants to kind of have a conversation, you know, like the conversation that I brought up that I had, you know, there's a difference between that kind of interaction and someone who is just talking to you to talk to you. You know, those kind of people who's just like just looking around a room, like they just hone in on somebody like that guy. I'm gonna talk his ear off for 45 fucking minutes instead of like, oh, that was a minute and a half conversation that I had with this guy talking about his time in Germany. I have never seen that man since. You know?
Yeah, I'd like really like to like learn how to like vomit on command. That way, if I was talking to somebody, I could just throw up on command, and then you said it as an excuse not to talk to them. Because what do? Like, and be like, "Bah!" And then be like, oh, sorry, I'm sick, I gotta go. Like, because other than that, those people, you're like, okay, I gotta go to the bathroom. And they'll follow you to the bathroom, or they'll be like, okay, hold on 1 minute, I'm gonna finish whatever, and I'll keep fucking talking. So I'm pretty sure if I learned to vomit on command, I could cut that shit short real fucking quick.
So I think we've now added another part of this: the people that go to festivals. This is the
people that go to festivals, and like I said, like
that sounds like what we're talking about now.
Well, there's a couple ways to do that. Is like I said, if you price it in a price range that is a little bit higher than what the normal dude bro and dude girl is comfortable with, then you get rid of them. Now, extreme beer festivals, $50 or $60, that's not too bad, but it's so popular. It's so popular, it sells out in minutes. So those people aren't going to wait online to buy the ticket. Those people are like, hey, what are we doing today? Oh, there's a festival around the corner. Let's fucking go, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, that dude is not.
Absolutely. That's kind of, I think, that was Electric City Beer Fest. It's like, we're just going to, what's going on today? Oh, let's go buy tickets at the door for this festival up in Scranton. And then get super friggin' drunk and puke outside of the cultural center.
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't like beer bong stations at it. You know what I mean? It was just like. Yeah,
really.
So, I mean, and even a VIP on that thing was kind of bunk. It was just like crappy stuff. But I mean, honestly, I would love there to be like secret festivals, like underground festivals, to where it was like the bunch of brewers got together and just like text their buddies. They'd be like, hey, 20 of us just set up at this fucking park by a campfire doing sampling crazy shit, and then your buddy tells your buddy and you tell your buddy, and then everybody just shows up randomly. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like back in the day, old school underground parties, kind of like that, but on a beer level. Like, that's what I want. I want that kind of shit, but again, I also want to like fart rainbows and you know what I mean, be invisible. So
you also want superpowers, and
yeah, exactly. What about you? What do you think about festival people?
I think there's definitely there's the people that even I think will buy tickets online for the sole purpose of just going and just getting super fucking drunk. Like, oh, my usual bar tab is like $50 or $60. Like, that's fine. I'll go and get like 150 different beers for that price and just go down the line and do beer shots, which is something that my friend Will did at the Mohegan Sun Electric City Beer Fest. He went down. He started on one end of this long ass table and had every single beer and just shotted it back.
Like, he collected every one and then put them in a line.
It was like, oh, I'll have this one shot. I'll have that one now. Moved on to the next one. I'll have that one shot. I'll have that one shot. And
here's the other thing, and this is the thing I think is what's going on now. I think that it's like festivals in general. I mean, you still have your Extreme Beer Fest, and then you'll have there's a couple that are popping up here and there, and you know what I mean. Smaller ones, shit like that. What is now what I believe used to be the festival is now the bottle release. That's like the new festival. That's Absolutely. Like the thing, you know what I mean? Like it's instead of people going to, you know what I mean, a festival with a bunch of different breweries, they go to a bottle release. Even like I know like bottle releases around here, like they'll have a bunch of brewers get together and do like a small festival within a bottle release. You know what I mean? So that's almost becoming
or turn like a bottle release into like a bottle share or something like that. You
know? Like almost like Cigar City does Hunapu Day. You know what I mean? It's just like them and a bunch of breweries and all that shit, and then you can get a bottle if you get a ticket and just all that kind of stuff. You know,
like I think Dark Lord Day is similar to that, and there's like 4 Elf at Dark Horse, but that's more of like their own kind of like internal Christmas festival where they have just a huge bottle release of like a bunch of different things, and you could just buy whatever you want, and you can either then stay for the festival or like collect all of your shit and go.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm old. I'm curmudgeon-y. So the festival part of the equation for me is running pretty fucking low. Like you'd really have to bring something unique New York to the table, or you're gonna have to fucking make it kind of inclusive to where it's more like, there's couches instead of chairs, and you know what I mean? I can just kind of meander around and not be rubbing elbows with a bunch of stinky fucking people, and then just enjoy myself.
Yeah.
So you want to do a beer review?
I think so.
Awesome. Let's do a beer review. We're going to be reviewing Weyerbacher's Merry Monks Belgian style triple ale. I believe I reviewed this alone and put it up. I'm not quite sure.
I don't think I've ever reviewed this, honestly.
But it's 2 years old, 2.5 years old, actually.
Yes.
Shit, I mean, it's an 9.3% alcohol Belgian style triple. It should age gracefully. This is Weyerbacher's this is their whatchamacallit, their staple beer, right? This is their go-to. I mean, now it would probably be more like a double Simcoe, but I think it's the first beer they produced.
I have no idea.
I'm almost positive. I won't bet my left testicle that this is the first beer that they actually made when they became a brewery. It's like their first one. So, which is kind of cool that it still exists to this day. So
that is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, new brewer Chris Wilson has tinkered with, recipes and stuff like that. So it might be the same from inception, but it also might be a little bit different. But yeah, I've had it quite a few times. I haven't had it in a couple months though.
Well, it is bottle conditioned as well. So.
Oh yeah, and you get a little bit about on mine. I get a 2.5 fingers.
I get about a pretty white finger head on mine.
Pretty white head on mine. A really aggressive carbonation still on mine.
Yeah.
Like it's flowing. Like if you could actually see it even on camera, which you typically can't see how it's rising and everything's kind of exploding.
Maybe you might have mine on camera as well.
No, your camera sucks. Anyway, mine does too.
You can see it now. Shut the fuck up.
Okay. So yeah, I mean it's pretty aggressive. And you're talking about, that's how I believe all Weyerbacher beers are bottle conditioned. Oh no, they force CO2 some stuff, I believe.
Yeah. That's cool.
But yeah. Ooh, that smells delicious, dude. It smells like candy.
That is really nice.
Yeah, it's like
triples are a style that I'm coming around to.
Yeah, I know you're not a big triple guy.
Yeah, I got into like the Belgian family with like doubles and doubles and quads and stuff.
Doubles and triples. Darks, strong darks and shit like that.
Yeah, the darker end of the Belgian spectrum is really what I liked. But the past few triples that I've had, I've actually really enjoyed them.
Yeah, this is nice. It smells very like almost to me. I'm getting a little bit of spiciness from the Belgian yeast, but I'm also getting like a nice like sweet candiness from it, almost like a lemon candy,
like an orange marmalade.
Yeah. Actually, probably that's close to what it probably is. It's like an orange candy, like a sucker candy. You know what I mean? I'm kind of getting that from it.
Yeah.
Like a Luden's lemon cough drop kind of thing without the medicinal portion of it.
Yeah, I'm getting like a little bit of like
maybe a little
biscuity flavor as well, or aroma.
Yeah, it's all sweet for me. I'm even getting like a little bit of butterscotch out of there, like a little bit of fucking caramel. Like it's actually pretty
okay. I get butterscotch now. Once you said that, I'm like,
yeah, it smells absolutely freaking awesome.
Really good though.
Yeah, let's dive in, man. Cheers.
Now let's try this.
That's delicious.
Ooh, wow, that's good.
Yeah, very sweet.
I have bottles. Depending on how many I have a bottle that's even older than this one.
Ooh,
it's
nice.
Old Label, Cork and Cage Old Label.
Ooh, nice.
Mary Monk's. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's a nice. I'm getting a little bit of oxidation there, just a little bit. Kind of get a little bit of like a musty basement off of it, just a tiny bit. But it's not negative for me. It's like it's excusable.
And you know how I keep my beers. So that was both of these were actually on the shelf that I designate for 12-ounce bottles, and they were in the back too. So they were in dark. They were in darkness for.
Yeah, it's probably more of an oxygen thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting a little.
I'm
bit
just
of
saying
air
for the people that don't, just kind of describing my cellaring for people who don't really know.
But in the mouth, I'm getting a lot of sweetness, almost like bubble gum. Like a candy.
I don't really get any of that banana, which is super good for me because I don't really like it. But definitely a lot of like candy sweetness, real sugary as well. Maybe a little of like a biscuity malt that I was kind of picking up in the aroma, but not like real crazy malty.
Yeah, it's definitely sweet. Like a lot of people might say this is too sweet, but I think it works for me. But yeah, I'm digging it. The age is nice because I know what this tastes like fresh, and it doesn't taste like this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of cool to have this. Yeah, I'm a fan.
And for once, we're doing instead of a fresh and an aged, which also would have been really cool. I like doing the fresh and aged bottles, but having both of them the same age is also really nice.
Yeah, I didn't. Joe was like, we didn't know what beers we wanted to review, and Joe's
I was in bed when when you were texting me. I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna review? I'm like, how about Mary Monk's?
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, yeah, I went to go look for what locally. I didn't want to buy a whole 6-pack.
Yeah.
So I went to my local Mix of Six place, and it's almost always there whenever I go there, and they didn't have any. I was like, called them. I'm like, dude. And then the radio show that I do on Sundays is, I don't know, 10 minutes out of the way from where Joe lives. And I was like, he's like, I'll put one outside in the fridge. I was like, okay. So literally
like just swing by the house and
yeah. Your mom poked her head out. She's like, "Are you stealing our beer?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm stealing your beer." So yeah, rating wise, man, I give this like a 92. Man, I like this. I dig this a lot.
Yeah.
I think the age has given this a little bit of a little goodness.
Yeah, I think so too. I would probably go right around you with like an A-. I don't really have too much of a frame of reference for triples, and I think I've had this fresh at the brewery. I just kind of remember the carbonation being a little, like a touch more lively. I think the 2 years has kind of dwindled it down just a tad, but overall, I mean, I'm really coming around to this style in general, and it doesn't have the kind of, in my mind, the negative flavors of like Belgian beers, which is mostly banana. I've said it many, many times. That's a flavor that I really don't like, which is why it kind of turned me off to the whole style. But you could also get them on quads and doubles and all that kind of shit as well. And Still, I don't like them in there either. So before anyone says, well, you can get them anywhere else, but yeah, like I said, I'm coming around to these guys, and this is really doing it for me. I love what the age on it has done. It's oxidized to a really nice degree. And I would go longer and just see what happens.
Oh yeah, you gotta let it go, man. Let's see what it turns into. Like I said, it's
that's the fun of it.
They have a 2-year rule on their bottles. I mean, it is what it is, but it's a mid 9% triple, man. You could get a good 10 years out of this thing.
Yeah, that's the. I think we talked about this in the aging episode. That's mostly just a suggestion.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
And I do the whole value and availability thing. It's Merry Monks. It's Weyerbacher. It's $12 a 6-pack. I can get it whenever I want, and it's priced to fucking go. So it's a 10 and a 10 on value and availability. I can get it. Well, I mean, Weyerbacher's actually. I didn't even notice until I did a little bit of research. They're about. I think they're in about 16 states now.
Yeah, they are. They're in a lot of states.
Yeah, I didn't think they were that far out.
This beer is also in a variety case that they call their big beer case, and it has Merry Monks, Blithering Idiot, Old Heathen, and Double Simcoe all together, basically a 6-pack of each in the case. Nice.
Mika agrees. Mika thinks that.
I'm glad that she agrees. I was worried, actually. I was hoping that Mika would agree.
So yeah, not too shabby.
No.
So what are you going on from here? What do we end it in this little bit?
We were kind of ending. Let me see. Kind of we've touched on this a little bit. Our ideal ticket price for a festival, kind of what we're paying for.
$1.
What we're
for everything.
Free.
$1. Free. They give me money. No. It's a weird thing, and that honestly, it's a weird thing because it's a lot of factors go into it. It's not so much. It's almost like chicken before the egg. It's like I want to pay this much for me to go. I'll pay this much if there's this much beer there. But then the person's like, well, I don't. I need this much in order to have that beer there. So it's like a weird thing. I'm saying between $60 to $80 is my. I think that price point is high enough to keep out the douchebaggery. Except for me, because I'm a douchebag. And
the only one that is allowed to be there is you.
That would be the best festival, like a bunch of
on the rule of the only douchebag.
No. I'm saying that would be just a festival where it's just me and nobody else at all, and I just get to walk around.
It's that
talk to brewers and then drink their beer.
No, it's the episode of South Park where Cartman gets his own theme park, and then realizes that he has to employ people and let people in.
Oh no! There's the brewers there.
Yeah,
all the brewers are there. And I get to talk to them.
In general, it's the episode of South Park where you're the.
No, it would work out swimmingly. It wouldn't work out like a disaster like that, man. Yeah. No, it would work out perfect. So yeah, I mean, I'm saying it's $60 to $80. I want to pay flat fee, preferably no tickets, no VIP either. I don't mind.
I was just gonna say that. Well, what are your thoughts on VIP sessions?
I don't mind VIP actually. I don't, and this is why I don't mind it. I would prefer not to be. I would prefer to be all inclusive, a little bit priced a little bit higher. But let's say you do have a festival, and this is where I had another issue with Extreme Beer Fest, not Extreme Beer Fest, sorry, with Electric City Beer Festival, is they did the VIP, but once the regular doors opened, the VIP broke down, and that was done. The first year it was like that. They were done. There was no more. There's no more VIP. What I want is a VIP section with specific beers, and then I want that to be there the whole festival. So that way, if I'm out,
was like the festival that Joe was talking about a couple weeks back.
Yeah. Yep.
And
exactly.
The VIP section was tented off, and it actually ended up raining that day, and people who weren't in the VIP section got rained on.
Yeah. maybe a little bit of food or something, and then that way
there.
That way you go out and mingle with the fucking herds of fucking douchebaggery. And then if you get to the point where you're like, fuck this noise, you can retreat back into your little sanctuary of fucking solitude, drink some good beers, and then just sit there and relax and decompress and get your shit together and then head back out there. You know what I mean? That's when a VIP works for me.
I would agree with that. I would keep a VIP section up for the span, for the duration of the festival, and have it a separate area that people can that people that bought those tickets can come and go as they please.
Yep.
I'm ticket price. I'm kind of right there with you. You know, a little bit more money would kind of keep the drunkards away. But then you got to see, like, for me, I want to see what. If you could have the list of breweries, at the very least, the list of breweries that are going to be there, because if the breweries are worth my time to go, I'll spend the money. If you want to kind of, you know, at least for this area, if you wanted to do a beer festival, and we've never really had New Belgium, we're just, you know, within the next couple of weeks, I think, or they may be here already. We're getting New Belgium into Pennsylvania
next week.
Well, if you wanted to do a beer festival, it'd be like, hey, first time New Belgium's in Pennsylvania, and then bring something cool from New Belgium. You know, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for breweries to kind of bring their A game. I don't want, you know, I'm okay with having a couple year-round stuff, but at least bring something cool that you're not gonna find very easily.
And that's kind of where you run into problems with the festivals like around here, where it's not even like, it sucks that they're staffed, like the booths are staffed by like distribution employees. But the problem is the fucking distributor is going to push their core line because that's where they make their fucking money. So they're not going to put on these crazy one-offs and uniques because that doesn't make them a dime. They want you to drink. They want you to drink the baseline core line stuff because that's what's going to end up making them money. So why would they give a shit? Whereas when you actually have it staffed by brewers, they actually they give a fuckle about the fucking beer, and they actually want to be like, okay, man, let's have some fun with some people and give them something a little bit fucking unique. So that's kind of like once you get the distributor is just a pimp, man. They're the worst. They don't create the product. They don't really do it in public. Yeah, they just push the fucking product, and it's so seedy and so disgusting. If you are a distributor out there and you'd like to hire me for a job as a representative, I'm looking for a job, by the way. Anyway, no, but fucking, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just weird, and it should be done, and it's the way it is. But then again, a lot of the festivals I've gone to are in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is a really weird fucking place when it comes to beer, man. It's like how it's owned, how it's sold, how it's distributed is like some ass backwards, weird fucking old world Sunday fucking religious leftish kind of bullshit.
Prohibition era nonsense.
Yeah, so it's just like making up shit as they go along, and this is like doesn't really work that way.
You can't do this these days. Why? Because we said so.
Yeah. Why did you say so? Because you can't, and we just said it. Okay. So it's just like one of those things.
Fuck you, that's why.
Yeah. So it's just weird, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really odd.
So you going to any festivals lately?
No, but at some point in the fall there will be another round 3 for 2015 of Niagara College Project Brew, if we're still friggin' calling it that by then. The festival that the fourth level class puts on. It's our turn this time around, and we're doing something.
You're doing something.
Doing something.
At least you're doing something.
We're doing something eventually. I don't know really much details about it yet. So yeah,
can't really there will be students and there will be beer, and you will be there.
Well, we will be showcasing kind of our 4th level project beers, where we instead of getting a style, kind of like we did this past semester, where I did, that's how I did the Oktoberfest. We choose a style and make a recipe for it. So I'm most likely doing English style barley wine.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I can't wait. I want to try that one you have going now. Did you crack it yet?
I have to bottle it still. I was putting it off the past couple of days. I was gonna do it I was gonna do it on Friday, and then I ended up doing something. Then I was gonna do it yesterday, and we were in Philly. And then I'm like, today's a bottle share. I don't really feel like doing it. I want to clean up for the bottle share. So I might do it tomorrow, but I don't know. Or I might do it Tuesday. I'll do it. I'm here till the 8th. I'll do it eventually.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Probably coming over to Sabdini's.
Yeah, baby. Okay. We want to wrap this sucker up and say our goodbyes, because I want to take a power nap before I come to your house.
Yeah, really. I got to clean up a little bit more. So
yeah, there we go. I mean, that's another episode down. We basically talked about festivals and how much I love them, and how much I'm a big fan of the Electric City Beer Fest. So if you ever want,
go to that festival. It is amazing.
Yes,
it's the only festival you will ever need to go to.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
and
clear your calendars and
clear your calendars. We drank a 2.5-year-old Merry Monks, which was pretty freaking delicious. And yeah, that's pretty much
up on the Instagram.
All the old Instagrams.
On the internets, all of them.
Yes. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I'm at Massive Beer Reviews. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and tap Massive Beers and all 4 of those places. How about you, Joseph?
You can find me on nepabeerreviews.squarespace.com, and keep an eye out for both Stone Woot Stout and Stone's Smoked Vanilla Porter coming up probably this week, maybe tomorrow, probably tomorrow and Tuesday, let's say.
There you go.
Then you can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at nepabeerreviews.
There you go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully you're drinking a good beer, and hopefully see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.